When you're just so excited, you just forget what you're gonna say because plant. That's me. Hi there dreamers, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, hello. My name's Jacqueline. I make videos about Hoyas and other houseplants, and consider subscribing if that's something you're interested in. I'd love to have you here more often. And today I am showing you all the plants that I received last weekend. There was a shop that was hosting a plant swap and a plant sale last weekend for me, and I was so excited about it. I got to meet some other local Hoya heads, which was wonderful. If you are new to this channel from that swap, hi, thanks for being here. I feel so lucky to have met all of you. These plants are plants I had never seen in person before, and a couple of them had been on my wish list for quite some time. I believe a couple of them had been on a previous Hoya wish list that I had shared on this channel. So maybe I'll link that in case you haven't seen it over here. I think it was 2021, my Hoya wish list, because I didn't do one last year. But yeah, these guys have kind of been on my radar for a while. So seeing them and being able to actually take them home was very satisfying. And I was able to trade off some cuttings of my plants that I had rooted and that other people were equally excited about. So that was great. I'm gonna start with the one non-Hoya in this collection just because I feel like if I don't start with it, I might forget about it. It's hard to say I would forget about this plant because it is gorgeous and it's the largest plant that I took home from this swap. This was traded to me as an Anthurium crystallinum norte, but after doing a little bit of research, I believe that it's supposed to be an Anthurium magnificum norte. If I am incorrect or if you have additional information about this plant, please let me know in that comment section down below. I would love to hear from you if you are more knowledgeable about this plant than I am. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us your care experiences. It's all valuable information. This plant I just recently repotted. It was very root bound and happy in the mix that it was in before. And so I just felt like it needed a little bit more room. It was in about a 4-inch pot. This is more like a 5.5 or 6-inch pot. This is my only like full size, I would say, fancy Anthurium. Up until this point, I have not really had any of the velvety or shimmery Anthuriums. I have stuck with the more bird's nest style because they're more easy care and generally don't require as high of humidity. But I, in the last couple of months, acquired a baby crystallinum hybrid that is sitting in a cloche behind me. It's in like a tiny 3-inch pot. And it's gonna take a couple of years, probably, before it gets to a size like this. So it's just nice to have something that's a little bit more grown out. I'm so excited about this plant. I believe Taylor is who traded this to me. Thank you, Taylor, you're so sweet. And I did mean it. I will still give you cuttings, so message me your info and we'll do that. I had another plant that she was interested in and I forgot that she was gonna come back and potentially trade, and I traded it to somebody else and I felt so bad. She was super gracious about it, and thankfully there was something else on my table that she was interested in, so it all worked out. But anyway, if you are watching this, reach out to me and I will give you those cuttings. I'd be happy to. Very exciting. I am just thrilled to have it. I am gonna see how it does in more ambient humidity. As you may know, if you've been around here for a minute, I don't have an IKEA greenhouse cabinet or anything like that. I have a couple of small cloches, but nothing that would fit a plant of this size. So we're gonna see how she fares in my normal household humidity. Something that I have not shared with you all yet that has been a development over winter is I actually got a whole house humidifier installed on my furnace in the basement. So thankfully, my air that's coming out of the heat vents is not nearly as parched and dry, so my plants that are near vents are not suffering as much, but it is keeping my house roughly between 40 and 55% humidity. That is because of the custom setting we have it put on. We'll see how it does in summer because I don't think it's hooked up to work with the AC. Since my house fluctuates between about 40 and 50% humidity, I think this is gonna be just fine. If you have any recommendations on what has worked for you, if you have grown this plant, please let me know in that comment section. We're getting into Hoyas. Okay, a couple of these I purchased and a couple of them I traded for. So I'm gonna start with the ones that I purchased because they have been on my wish list longer than the others. This adorable little baby is a Hoya crassipetiolata. I don't know that I've said it out loud as much as I have just read it in my head. Hoya crassipetiolata Splash. This plant, as far as my knowledge, the Splash variety is relatively stable. There is a non-splash variety of this as well, in which you can see the veins a lot more clearly than on this specimen. I really enjoy silver foliage. I'm trying to incorporate a few more silver Hoyas into my collection just because I feel like aesthetically it's really nice to have pops of different textures of green, different colors. So I like having some silvery plants and some more neon looking plants. I'm not sure if you can see from this distance. I will do some B-roll and insert it for you guys so you can see these plants a little bit better. But this guy has an active growth point here that is giving me 2 little baby leaves. Very exciting. It looks like it might have a growth point starting at each of these nodes. These top 2 nodes are leafless, but they do not look dead, so that is exciting. I did transfer all of these plants into my own mix. I did include a little bit of whatever they were already in, just so I hopefully don't shock the root system too much. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying that you should repot plants immediately upon them arriving to you. But for me personally, I have found that it is less risky for me to repot something and give it a little bit of transplant shock. That is going to cause less harm to the plant than me caring for it in a media that I'm not familiar with, and all it takes is one wrong watering and you've got root rot and it's done. So personally, I have made the decision to repot everything that comes into my collection into my own custom mix, because I know how my plants enjoy being cared for in that mix, and all my Hoyas tend to thrive. I will be doing a video that is more specifically geared on what I am using for my soil mix in an upcoming video. I will talk more about like the ratios and stuff at that point, but just so that you have a general idea of what all of my Hoyas, all my plants really are potted in: cocoa, husk, chips, leca, and pumice. That is my mix. I do put some powdered fertilizer in there, which happens to be from Tank's Green Stuff. So it is a very similar mix to De La Tank's. However, I was not able to get large bags of it shipped to me more recently. Something changed with their Amazon availability and I can't do that anymore. So I was able to get individual ingredients at a larger quantity for a similar price point. So that's what I did, and I've just had a ton of extra soil amendments sitting in containers in my basement. If you're interested in a video about my current Hoya mix, my soil mix, what's been working for me, let me know in that comment section. Leave me a like on this video. That helps me out a lot. I really appreciate you. And if you can, stay tuned to the end of the video. It may not seem like a big deal for you, but it's a big deal for my channel. It makes a really big difference on my analytics, so thank you for staying till the end if you're able to. Again, this is Hoya crassipetiolata Splash. I am very excited to have this. I purchased this from Gloria, who is Plant State of Mind on Instagram, and she has such beautiful Hoyas. She is such a lovely person. It was such a pleasure to meet you, Gloria. I don't know if you're watching this. You probably are not, but if you are, it was a pleasure. When you're just so excited, you just forget what you're gonna say because plant. That's me. Okay, so anyway, saw it. Cool. That one. Moving on. My other Hoya, let's get back in frame. My other Hoya purchase is this Hoya Ganungading or Ganungading. I'm not sure exactly where the emphasis is supposed to be. Please forgive me. If you do know the appropriate way to say this name, let us know phonetically down below. I would love to know. Adorable little veiny guy, and I was so thrilled to see this available for sale that I snapped it up immediately. Again, from the same seller. I was really pleased with all of the plants she had. It was truly hard to choose and narrow down, but I mostly came to trade, not to purchase, so I had to limit myself. Yeah, yeah, this guy's got an active vine going. We've got some baby leaves that have stuck out this transition so far. It's been a few days and they're continuing to grow, so let's hope that continues. Oh, laundry's done. You gotta switch the laundry. Whoops. The initials are HM on this, which I believe is Rick's Hoya's here on YouTube, if I am not mistaken. Those are his initials, so this might be from Rick's collection, which is really exciting. This next plant was one of my trades. This one I traded with another person who was helping host this event, and that was Stroke My Leaves on Instagram. I believe it's Annie. She was so sweet as well. She has incredible aroids as well as some Hoya, so there were some things there that I have absolutely never seen before and probably will never see things as beautiful again. But my goodness, can these people grow some plants? Gosh, this adorable little Hoya Hushkaliana variegated. I have always wanted one of these. I've been a little afraid to order one because I just find that the smaller leafed Hoyas and some of the thinner leafed Hoyas, which this to me happens to be both, they can have a little bit of a tougher time recovering from shipping and that sort of thing. So since I had never seen this in person before, prior, my option was to order it online. And that's why I had not done so, because I didn't trust it. I didn't trust that it would recover. So I was very grateful to find this in person where it will have minimal transition, and it is not rooted yet, but I am hopeful. I have put it in a cloche with a couple of my other small plants because the tip I was given about this is that it adores humidity. So I am going to baby it a little bit until I know that it is established, and then we'll try to transition it into more ambient humidity because, as I mentioned, my humidity is not painfully low. It should be just fine. I did utilize a little plant, what do they call them? Plant picks? I don't know. It's like a floral pick, but it holds your cutting in place. That's that little orange thing you see. But anyway, yeah, this is not rooted yet, but it is a top cutting, so very exciting. It seems to still be growing, even though it has no root system, so that's always reassuring. Brief story time. This was my first in-person plant swap ever. I have swapped plants with other people, like friends or excuse me. I have traded plants with friends in person, just like casually, and I have traded with a couple of people during the pandemic. I exchanged plants with them long distance, so we shipped plants to each other. But other than that, I have not done in-person trading or going to plant trades and events like that, so I was very excited for my first one, and I was setting up my area where I was, displaying my plants for trade, and this lovely individual came up next to me and said, "I know you. You're Dreams of Hoya." And I was so taken aback. As a YouTuber, this was actually my first experience just meeting someone spontaneously that follows me, so that was pretty cool. So I said, "Yes, I am. Who are you?" Because I just hadn't had that experience before. What do you follow up with, when it's this parasocial relationship thing? Like, I feel like I have a relationship with you guys, but I don't actually know you. You know me. But anyway, Caitlin, you are so sweet. It was so great to meet you, and I hope we see each other again soon. She had the most beautiful variegated Bella cuttings available for trade, and I practically had to scoop my jaw up off the floor. These are so gorgeous. The leaves are enormous. Like, for Bella leaves, these are about as big as they get, because that's as big as they've gotten on my green Bella, and these are some beefy, cute cuttings, and one of them even has a little peduncle. I'm not counting on it staying because, rooting a cutting, that's probably going to be the first thing to get energy-wise. But I'm so very excited to have enough cuttings to put into a little pot together. They're not actually potted in this. I put them in plastic just so that I can more easily tell when it needs watered. I can tell more by weight when something is in plastic. I think each one of them had a root, maybe one did not. There are 4 cuttings in here, and I'm just so excited to watch them grow. My Bella has been a very, very rewarding Hoya to grow. It took a little while to get started, but once it did, it's just been growing like a weed. So I had a lot of Bella cuttings to trade. Unfortunately, they just didn't seem to be a common desire at this plant swap, so I've still got some. But yeah, if you are in the Columbus area or you are planning on visiting the Columbus area, soon you will be able to buy my plants in person. So that's pretty sweet. Anyway, thank you, Caitlin, for trading me your gorgeous Bella cuttings. I believe I looked it up because not having either of the variegated Bellas, I did not know the proper name. And I believe this one is Anakabui. I may not be saying that correctly, but I believe the outer variegated Bella is Hoya Bella Anakabui, or Anakabuis is how it's spelled, but it's, you know, bui, I'm guessing. This Hoya I only learned about recently, and I learned about it from this person's collection. I think they had other cuttings for sale, or I had seen them on Instagram or something. I was really hoping that she would bring one of these plants to this trade. And even more so, I was really hoping I would have something that she would want to trade for this plant. And I did. This is Hoya Tangamus. Tangamus? I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. You can pick your favorite pronunciation. I won't judge. She is a 1-leaf number right now, but she's got 2 little growth points flanking that node, and I just can't wait to see what the new leaves look like on this. You guys know I am a sucker for veiny Hoyas. I really like that this one has the undulated margin, similar to my Hoya Caudata Sumatra, and also similar to one of my UT Hoyas that I'm not sure if I've actually shared with you guys on this channel. I have a lot of Hoyas to catch you up on. It has been a minute. I was watching, used to be Betsy Begonia, is now Heavens to Betsy on YouTube. I was watching her latest podcast, which I highly recommend if you enjoy her to check out her new podcast. I've really been enjoying it so far. She was talking about how it's easy to get excited about ideas, but then sometimes when it comes to executing them, you lose that spark, that fire, and it just doesn't happen. I feel like that has been me for the last several months on my channel, because I feel like there's so many things that I could make videos about that I just get so overwhelmed that I don't do any of them, because I'm just like, where do I start? There's so much. I will have to do a oops, I did it again, Hoya haul, like a collective thing, just to catch you guys up on what's actually in my collection. Because collection videos are a lot more work. If you are super interested in seeing all of the Hoyas I have acquired, while I have not really been great at updating you on this channel over the last several months, let me know in that comment section. Leave me a like, and I'll do my best to get to that next. Wow, tangent. If you came for the Tangamus, he's still here. I was so pleased. I had 0 expectations going into this swap, other than I was just looking forward to meeting people and seeing plants, and came home with so many wonderful treasures and several new friends, and I feel really, really grateful for that. So just a PSA, if you have a plant swap or plant trade coming up in your area, I challenge you to check it out, because I am so glad I did. I bet you would love to meet your local plant community too. They're good people. If you made it this far, thank you so much. You are a true friend. I really appreciate it. And give this video a like if you did enjoy it. Let me know which of these would you have wanted to swap for if you were at this plant swap. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.